Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Hi, it's me, Mitch. Welcome to Morning Coffee with Mitch. Drink it if you got it. Cheers. Coffee and creatine. What a way to start the day. Excuse me. First sip, and I tried to breathe it instead of swallow it. Got my mind somewhere else. How's everybody this morning? Good to see you. Good to see you. Did I say welcome to Morning Coffee with Mitch on a Monday morning? It's Monday. Monday's one of my favorite days of the week. So happy to be here. And while we wait for people to pile in, I don't know if Kiltz done yet. I know they were still going when I started this thing. But I assume they always try to bail out real quick. Let me take a quick look here and see. Yeah, they're still going. They're still going. They're still going. They're saying goodbye. Yeah, he said, see you on the Mitch Show. I sent Kiltz a link. I sent Kiltz a link. I don't know if he's going to have time or not, but he's sitting there at the airport in Atlanta. And I figure, well, maybe we can get him on here this morning and have him briefly just tell us how it was up there in Tennessee. So we'll see. We'll see if he decides to come in or not. Give him a choice. That was a great show we had this morning. Great show. Desiree was a terrific guest, and what a story she has. Wow, wow, wow. Wow. Very inspiring. Very inspiring. Very moving. I was spellbound. I was just watching that. It took a long time for that story to play out, but I'll send her my best wishes and thoughts, and hopefully next year we'll hear about a pregnancy there. But she kind of reinforced, I think, in talking about Kiltz, just why I think he's a great human being and my friend. So I picked my friends pretty good, I think. Welcome to everybody. Good to see you this morning. Got a lot of nice comments on my little rant yesterday. Thank you for that. Got a few nasty comments, too, from morons. But the morons are out there. We can't get rid of them. One guy started his comment with 2 words. You're wrong. Yeah. All right, bye. You can't please everybody, friends. You can't please everybody, that's for sure. First one in this morning was Wayne Herman. Good morning. Nice rant yesterday. Love it, from Lake Aston, North Carolina. See, I'm not imagining that. And Mike Seeley's here from Tampa Bay. Good morning to you. Good morning, Sandy Blythe. Mike Seeley Sr., good morning. Lady June, good morning from England. All the usual suspects. Here we have Jerry Voitos from Ponte Vedra Beach. Hi, Jerry. How you doing? And Rick, hello from the Black Menace. Yes. The Black Menace. Oh, well. And Chris Swain from Australia. Wow, I am only 14 hours ahead of you. What's on the agenda today? Rant, lecture, or Professor Logic? Well, maybe all of them. We'll see. We'll see. I have no script and no preconceived idea of what in the world I'm going to say in the next hour or so, but somehow I never seem to run out of something to say. Good morning, Chris. How you doing? And Brian Dish. Hi, Brian. Good morning, Mitch. First full week of May. Hard to believe. And speaking of first full week of May, everybody, wish my daughter Diane a very happy 53rd birthday. Ugh. It hurts to even say that, but it's today, May the 4th. And it's cool because we have our birthdays, well, of course, every year in the same week, being like 3 days apart. But my son turned 55 on his last birthday. He'll be 56 this year. My daughter is 53. And I find that to be absolutely impossible considering I'm only 39. But stranger things have happened in this world, and I accept that. I accept that. My 79th birthday coming this Thursday. We're celebrating it all week. I don't know what I'm going to celebrate until Thursday, but on Thursday, got a morning live stream. We're going to have a panel, and Thursday night, there'll be no private live stream. It'll be open to everybody, and it's going to be a Mitch 79th birthday party. The last birthday before what I think is the big one. For me, I think 80, I think I can call it the big one. I've resisted up to this point from labeling any of these birthdays the big one, but I'm afraid I won't be able to dodge that bullet anymore. And 90 might be the bigger one. We'll see. We'll see. Hugh Myra, how are you doing? Good morning to you. Yes, our birthday week gets started. My misfits are excited about it. That's gratifying. I like that. Thank you so much, everybody. Larry Ryan, good morning. Good morning. He says, happy Monday. Rough Carnivore from Guam. Hope everyone's having a great morning so far. Not bad so far. I was up at about 4:45 this morning. I worked out a little bit. I hung upside down on my orthopod thing, stretched my back. That does wonders. Does wonders for any kind of back pain or anything like that. And even if I only do it 2 or 3 times a week, and while I'm hanging upside down, whoa, yes, sir. Let's, a little break in the show, and look who's here. Holy mackerel.
Good morning, my friends. A beautiful day. Kiltz is alive and well in Atlanta, on his way to Sarasota. Amazing meeting for meat stock. 1,500 people, approximately, could be plus or minus. And next year is probably going to be 3,000 in Nashville. But most importantly, Mitch, good morning. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great, man. How are you? How are you?
I am fabulous. The sun is rising in Atlanta.
Oh, look at that. That's great. That's great.
And I'm sitting here. I'm sitting here in front of the big screen, watching people make steak and broccoli and basketball, and I don't know what else is going on, but I'm good shape. I'm having a little bit of a latte this morning.
Attaboy. Glad to see it.
And I got to tell you, the meetup, the meat stock was amazing people. There was a lot of camaraderie. We're learning together, and I just feel so blessed to be part of this community. And your name came up kind of like 100 times,
Wow,
and
really?
it was really great to be in the live for just a minute on Sunday at 10. You took over. Next time, I'm just going to say, Mitch, you take over the live for Kiltz, and we're all doing this together. I was talking to Ali and Dr. Nelson. I think what we need to do is let's deputize everyone to grow this community, and nobody really emulates this what we're doing more than you. And again, everyone is part of this. I don't care age, size, shape, gender, color, politics, religion. Last I looked, we're kind of all human beings, and we're trying to do our best. And I ran to John Morton, who was the editor and one of the filmmakers of Healing Humanity, and he's going to come down to Sarasota, and we'll get you down there. We're going to have steak and some really great cigars.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. My kind of guy. Well, it's great to see this one. There's an old saying, and you seem to personify this every time you travel, and that is, if you had to go to hell, you'd have to change planes in Atlanta.
And we flew out of Knoxville. It was like a 30-minute flight. It was great. And next year it's going to be in Nashville instead of Gatlinburg. And but I'm recommending to everybody to go to one of these meetings and join us. We're going to be in Tampa, I think in February again at Kiltz's meetup. And Atlanta's a great place. Oh, it's amazing. I ran into Dr. Ovadia. He and I traveled from Knoxville here, and we're all building community. And the important part is each of us can do it together, right? We all do it together. We got Rick here and Sandy here and Frank Calabrese and Bacon Runner. Hello to everybody.
Everybody who's anybody is here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a nobody.
No, come on. I'm flattered to have you here, and I'm so happy to see that you're so excited. And we talk about this a lot. This is a grind. Doing this carnivore stuff is a grind, and it's expensive. And the one thing, and you'll agree with me, the one thing that keeps us here and keeps us doing this through the times when we say, why am I doing this? Why am I killing myself? Is the people, is the community. And you just had 4 days of it. And it's good to see you so jacked up about it.
Well, and that was the deal. I mean, again, 1,500 of our best friends are family members, and they know us, we know them, and that's why I love to go to these, is to connect, because it's great to be online, because we now know these methods allow us to connect. I mean, you're in Melbourne, and getting out after your stroke wasn't as easy, and I think also as we get. And now that I'm 70, you're the young guy here. We become a little bit more of a curmudgeon. It's like, oh man, I don't want to go anywhere. But all we need to do is turn it on and tune in, and that really, really, really resonates with, I think, the world today. Social media is still powerful, but to get to a physical connection is really important. I'll be at Hack Your Health coming up. Really excited about that. I'll be in Australia with Melissa B's Carnivore Global Community. I'll be in South Africa with Tim Noakes, and then I'll be in the United Kingdom for their meeting. But I love Fertility World, but I can just travel doing this every single day.
Yeah, it would be great to get paid for it, wouldn't it? That would make it even more fun.
But the payment I get is in the community, and
no doubt.
My Fertility World is thankfully sort of providing the energy, and sometimes we gotta adjust it a little bit, and that's the part that I'm learning about this. You gotta adjust it sometimes, right? You need to move move your resources one place to another. I took Delta. We had a little bit of a. I took a. My plane got dropped off in Gatlinburg. Thankfully, it was got a. I had a paid customer, which is it's a dry lease, and I was in the right seat, not in the left seat, and it was great. And we're figuring out how to do this. Always changing.
Good, good. Well, I'm looking forward to when you get back to Sarasota and you got a little time. Give me a call. We'll hear all about it. And if we're going to do anything with the Orlando thing, we'll talk about that. I don't know if we're going to do that or not, but we'll talk about it.
Well, I don't know because I haven't seen Julio and Pilar, my daughter, and Luca and the family in a little bit. So I'm kind of wrestling whether or not I'm gonna try to get to Orlando and then from there get up to see the baby. And because you know how important your children and their children are.
Oh yeah, no doubt. No, today's my daughter's 53rd birthday.
Awesome.
My daughter Diane. Yeah.
Well, I saw Maggie from Cowboy Maggie from Canada came to the meeting. It was so amazing. The woman is 84 or 5.
Yeah, I know.
She's a rock star, and she puts us all to shame. Even Kiltz to shame.
Well, she puts me to shame, and I'm usually the oldest guy in the room when I go anywhere. So it's where I felt great this morning. I got up, I did some exercises. I'm moving around faster and faster every day, and I just attribute this lifestyle. And you hear so many stories that Desiree, her story this morning was so moving. It was. How important diet is. How important diet is. It is the most important thing. And I feel we feel like David and Goliath here, up against all the big money and the big companies that foster all this unhealthy diet and then want to sell you all these medical treatments. It's so obvious. So obvious.
Well, and the David story, and I think, was that in the Old Testament?
Yeah, I think it was.
Okay,
and that's there's a lot of good stories. There's lots of stories in there. Yeah,
and that's what I love. It's those powerful stories. So there's a it's a congregation of community, no matter what your religion is. But we're all chosen people, in my opinion, and we're coming together and doing some major fun creativity. This is the beauty of it, right? And it is hard, but look at you and I. We've suffered, but we still get up every day, don't we?
Yeah, and come here on YouTube and expose ourselves to the whole world. Unashamed, my friend. We're unashamed.
Yeah. And that is the kind of the beauty of this is, and sometimes though, I was talking to my friend Laura Knight Hughes and, about our shifts and changes and our pain and sorrow and hardness. And sometimes we want to just become a recluse, but I say that's the time to sort of begin maybe to do a little work. And I'm a writer and reader and I love to share it. And you and I have had some great conversations about our troubles, our problems, our past. But by doing that, it's the David and Goliath, right? In the Bible stories really take us out of our pain and sorrow.
What time's your flight? Out of there?
Well, I board at 7:30. And
it's
like
okay.
A 2-minute walk from here. So keep on going. Let's do your normal stuff. I'm just here hanging out too.
Oh, okay. Well, what I usually do first is say good morning to people. So I've got up to this far. I got Aaron here, Booby Goats. Aaron. Hi, Aaron. Yeah. And the most important thing here in the morning is who was the winner? Who put the comment in at exactly 7:00? And I tell them, and it is no surprise, these two people every day lambs and Robbie Autry. And Robbie says, good morning, Mitch Weiss, OGC, and all you Mitchfits, drink your bean juice if you got it. May the 4th be with you. That's what they always say on the 4th of May. May the 4th be with you.
And we know what's coming up on the 7th. And by the way, I'm going to work to make it to Orlando. And so, are you going to Orlando?
Yeah, I'll be in Orlando at the dentist's office at 11 a.m. And usually I just go home. But if you're coming to Orlando, and I'll stick around, we'll do something, and then we maybe get to the screening on Wednesday night, and then maybe come back to my place, and you can crash on the couch or whatever. And you don't have to stay around if you want to get up to see your kids.
What's the closest airport to Melbourne?
Melbourne.
Maybe Melbourne. I could find a flight to get me up north, and I'll check it out, and that'll be a good.
That'd be great. There's a lot of flights out of Melbourne up to the Northeast. I mean, that's probably one of the most popular destinations from Melbourne. So check it out. We'll see. And
All right.
We'll see.
Cool.
And I got a cigar with your name on it in case you happen to come down here. Who else we got here? We got Rick. Rick, you know Rick, don't you?
My brother.
You remember Rick? Here, you remember Rick? This is a little something that Rick does every morning. Oh no, we'll have to wait here, but we'll wait for it. My hard drive has to spin up. It happens sometimes. But you haven't seen this one yet. Rick does this every morning. Some people start their day with a cup of coffee. This is how Rick starts his day. I think it's going to happen any minute now. Yeah, come on. I should probably make sure.
Hi, can I get a Lizard Blizzard extra green?
Coming right up. That'll be 1 Lizard Blizzard extra green. Here you go.
Awesome, thanks.
Yep, that's how Rick starts his day every day. And everybody should.
Yeah, you finish, and then I'll give my send off.
Oh, okay. Well, Rick does that, and I always tell people, because I think that'd be a great chain of things, that look out for a lizard blizzard coming to a neighborhood near you. And with that, I think we're going to send Kiltz off to jump on a plane and come down back to Florida.
I love you guys. Take care. I'll see you soon. Try to get on tomorrow. All right. Bye.
Okay. Take care. Bye-bye. Oh, wasn't that a nice surprise? You never know what's going to happen around here on a Monday morning. You know, be there or be square. So, Anthony, good morning. Anthony's here. How you doing? And good morning, says Cordelia from New York, from Albany. I'm way behind, but that's usual. Chris Swain, Mitch time. Terry. Hiya, Terry. Morning, another Monday. They come faster and faster, don't they? Don't they? That's for sure. Brenda McIntyre's here. Hi, Brenda. Morning, everyone. Don't let your meatloaf daily words of wisdom. And Liz is here. Black Box morning. How you doing, Kevin? Corgi lover. Happy day all. And let's see. Who is this? Peter's here. Peter! How you doing, my friend? Good to see you this morning. And Donna Ray, Bacon Runner. Hi, Donna Ray. How are you? Terry P. is here from Newfoundland. Good to see you. And Randy is here. Good morning, everybody. May the 4th be with you. Don Shiger, good morning. Chuck from Clearwater, Supertune. Good morning, Mitch, and all the Mitch fits. And Thomas is with us. Hi, Thomas. How you doing? It's great to see everybody here on a Monday morning. If you got any questions or topics you'd like to steer the conversation to, put them in the chat. QQQ. That rant video I put out yesterday, that felt good. I need to do more of that. The simplicity of this lifestyle does two things. It makes it easy to do, but it makes it hard to make YouTube videos about. And that was the thrust of my message in yesterday's video, was that if you're a carnivore YouTuber, you only got a few things to say. So you got to find something else. You can't keep making up new recipes because you eat a limited number of foods. Goes against all logic and everything we've been taught, unless we try to put ourselves in a caveman mentality, kind of like this.
What's for dinner?
Same as every day.
Again?
But that's it. That's it. They didn't know any better. They didn't have TV commercials and all the distractions that we have. They hadn't been weaned on sugar and all those other things. They were content. They struggled to get their food, but when they got the food, they were content with it. The interesting thing that I found about carnivore is it takes your mind back to those kind of days when you, even after a month or two, you stop wanting all the different variety. You start being able to fight the cravings and resist all of the cues and the messages and the temptations. Nobody, if they haven't tried it and haven't at least done it for a month or so, will ever believe that you can be happy eating nothing but ground beef all day and eggs. And not one of those, they will not believe you. They will think you're crazy and a freak. And yet that's kind of universally experienced by all of us who do this. I marvel at it every day. What a small variety of foods I need to have to not worry about foods or feel deprived. And it is so simple. And I think we're straying, and that's why I made that video yesterday, overcomplicating it way too much. It might not be right for everybody, and there may be people who have medical conditions that preclude it, and they don't do as well as we do. There are so many syndromes and resistances, and we talk about insulin resistance, but we don't talk about things like leptin resistance at all. And that explains why somebody could never really feel satiated, even though they're eating the right diet. But you can't give everybody advice because one or two people here or there don't do well on it. I'm tired of seeing it. There's two things that I think are the only things that we need to really, really worry about and prioritize. Yesterday, I talked about one of them. Just make sure you get that fat. And I had some comments. On my video where people said, I don't have to concentrate on adding fat. And then she put out a list of what she ate. And I don't know if she realized it and was trying to make this point, or actually was telling me that I was wrong. But she said, I feel great and I'm doing great and I don't have to add fat because all I eat, and then she listed, all the carnivore foods, and eggs was on the list. And my thought was, well, she's probably trying to tell me that I'm right. Because if you eat the proper foods, you don't have to add fat. You don't have to count macros. You don't have to worry about getting enough. You're going to get enough because you eat the foods that contain exactly the right ratio. And that's what makes it simple. Try to get people to understand that. The second, and I very rarely talk about this, but it's number one on my mind every day. It's what keeps me from falling prey to the worry about the focus on cholesterol, atherosclerosis, clogged arteries, heart attacks. I had a stroke, and everybody blames my high cholesterol for the stroke. Inflammation. Systemic inflammation is the second most important factor in determining how healthy you'll be, assuming that your cholesterol is going to go up if you're doing carnivore correctly in most people. Seems to be that everybody reports. I had another comment that said, I was doing great on carnivore, but I had to give it up because it messed up my blood test results. There's somebody who fell prey to the propaganda from the medical community. That cholesterol goes up, people run for the hills. They bail. They run for the hills. Does your body intentionally try to kill you if you're living the way you're supposed to live? It can't be the case, or our species would have died out long ago. All the damage and all of the bad things they claim our body is doing to us, like making too much cholesterol and all this other stuff, was a non-issue before the agricultural age 10 or 15,000 years ago, which is only, I know 10,000 years sounds like a long time. It is the last instant of the evolutionary time where our physiology, chemistry, and programming fine-tuned itself to the food we were eating. That's why I go back and look at how the caveman lived. Now, we can't mimic that today. But when it comes to food, we carnivores are living closer with one meal a day or a day of fasting, only eating plants when there's no animal stuff around, and only doing it for a short period of time to get us through. That's how we evolved, and that's how our bodies are still living with 50,000-year-old programming and systems. We physiologically just haven't changed that much in the last 50,000 years. So we can't say what happened 3 years ago, 10 years ago, 100 years ago means we have to live differently now. We have to adapt, but we have to adapt and try to get as close to how we lived 50,000 years ago to be doing what our body thinks it needs. And it's smart. And if your body has your LDL at 400, which is where mine hovers at, it has a reason to do that. And if you interfere with that and do anything to try to lower that number, you are only interfering with a brilliance that your body has learned over hundreds of thousands and millions of years. There's a reason why when you do carnivore correctly, your LDL is going to go through the roof, but so is your HDL, and your triglycerides are going to come down, and you're going to become one of those people like Dave Feldman is studying that they call lean mass hyperresponders, which nobody understands. Let your body do what it wants. The only time all that LDL could be harmful is if you are highly inflamed, and that's what I'm talking about, inflammation. Because it's the inflammation that damages the LDL. And nobody wants to have high LDL if it's all small, dense, glycated and oxidized LDL particles. And that only happens when you're inflamed. So, an HSCRP is a very important blood test. It measures your inflammation markers. If you do carnivore, you eat no sugars, you eat little or no plants, you will be uninflamed. And I think the higher your LDL, that just means you're more of a fat burner, because the LDL and the VLDL is necessary to transport that fuel to every cell in your body, because you're not utilizing sugar. A high sugar diet, or a diet high in oxidizable free radicals like seed oils, things like that, increases inflammation. The inflammation inside your arteries is like a sore. Your body sends its immune system in the form of LDL particles that contain cholesterol to patch it up and repair it. And that's where plaque comes from. And the sure way, no matter how high your so-called cholesterol is, to not get plaque is to have low inflammation. We know that. That's almost pretty well accepted by even the naysayers now. Two things. Liz has a question way at the bottom. I don't want to skip over her question. As a licensed MT, can you tell me that too many in the community are led astray by worshiping lab tests? You have to be careful. Yes, I don't even want to test anymore. I can tell whether things are working or not by the way I'm feeling. And if I do get something that breaks or have a pain somewhere, I'll go to a doctor specifically, now that I have a carnivore doctor, and we'll address it, because I'm not immortal, that's for sure. But when all my pain goes away, when my back stops hurting, that's a good indication to me that I am experiencing very low inflammation. And when I do get blood tests, my CRPs are usually very, very low. If I were to start eating sugar and plants, like I did so many times in the past, I would get inflamed, my back would hurt, my arthritis. I had rheumatoid arthritis at one point so bad I could hardly tie my shoes on certain days. I live with zero pain now because of this lifestyle of not eating plants and not eating sugars. That's a great sign. And you can ask any of us that have been on this for a while who fell off the wagon. Talk to Peter about it. I'll testify too. Everything starts to hurt again. You feel like shit. You learn your lesson. You say, I'll never do that again. You're an addict. And it's tough. But you get over it, and then you get back on carnivore. I managed to live almost 3 years on carnivore until my stroke put me in the hospital, and they screwed up everything with the food they served me. With the food that they served me. So yes, those two things. I'm going to make more and more dedicated videos, and I hope you don't all get bored, trying to refocus attention back to those two really, really key concerns. And that's all we need to deal with. And stop worrying about whether you drink coffee or you have a cigar or you're not getting grass-finished beef, but you're getting grain-finished beef. Start focusing on the only two things that I focus on anymore as the most important ways to not feel deprived, to not get cravings, to be out of pain, to get more energy. And the only tweaks I make are a few little supplements here and there, and we've talked about them. And I'm drinking one of them now, the creatine. I think that's great when you get older. If you're 40 years old, I don't think you need this stuff. Your mitochondria are still young and putting out energy full bore. But at 50 and 60, your mitochondria start to slow down. You have fewer and fewer mitochondria. And little things like this, as you get older, do help. I think it's been proven. It's hard to tell exactly if it's how much it's helping, but I'm doing it. And it's a great excuse to drink a cup of coffee, and maybe that's the real reason, if I'm going to be honest with myself. Rick says, Quack's not coming. Okay, Rick, you're digging yourself a hole, man. You're going to have to come through. You're going to have to come through. Who's this? Oh, yeah, Frankie Calabresi, how you doing? How you doing? Gotta love the lives, especially on TV. Yeah, they're great to sit and watch on a big TV. Yeah. And Rick says, in response to Kiltz saying that my name came up a lot, I hope it wasn't in vain, but Mitch, that old fart. But yeah, I imagine your name came up a lot, Rick. A lot. Donna Ray says, you are an influencer, Rick. Yes, you are. You influence all those ducks and iguanas every day. No, you really are. Rick thinks he's just the influencer. Danny. Good morning, Danny. How you doing? Good to see you. Rick says carnivore is fun. Yes, it is. And Chuck said hi to Kiltz. And now Kiltz made an appearance, so I guess most of the comments will be about Kiltz, although Rick is still getting his play here. Donna Ray says, you taught us all how to make heart attack chicken and burgers. Yes. Where? I have one question, Rick. One question. Because I think all that shtick that you have about heart attack burgers and heart attack chicken, I think it's just marketing hooey. You keep promising all these heart attacks. Where are they? Where are they, Rick? Rick, you keep promising us heart attacks, and they never come. They never happen, Rick. False advertising, my friend. You should be ashamed of yourself. I'm being sarcastic, Rick. You know that. Everybody knows that. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Frank, thanks, Kiltz. Quack your health at Iguanacon. There you go. I like that. I like that. That's how to work both of those things in. Very clever. I like that one. Quack your health at Iguanacon. I love that Iguanacon, you say that, video. And Brian says it will be fun to break steak. Yeah, because we don't break bread. How do you break a steak? Let's see. We're talking about Maggie, and I'm looking for new people. We have Amanda here this morning. Hi, Amanda. I see you all of the time on Kiltz. Good to see you. Found your way over here finally. Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome. Welcome. And Rick says, here it goes. Extra green latte, please. I love it. I feel the same way about it. That stuff never gets old. Never gets old. And I think now is when we said, yep, say goodbye to Kiltz on the plane down here to Florida again. That was nice of Kiltz to drop in. Like that, Mitch? Yeah, I like it too. And Kiltz not like your average doctor. Just a little observation. Your average doctor is conceited, stuck-up, arrogant, narcissistic, egomaniacal. Kiltz is just so accessible and down to earth. And that was proven out this morning by his guest, Desiree's little little speech when she got to the point where she said that Kiltz called her on the phone. What doctor who's in charge of an organization as large, and if any of you don't have any idea how large CNY fertility is, it would blow your mind. What doctor in charge of an organization that big, if you were one individual patient, would actually get a phone call or have the head of the whole thing concerned about you personally? It doesn't happen. It never happens. But Kiltz is different. I admire him for that. Hear that, Kiltz? No, you wouldn't hear it because you're on the plane. Unless you're listening to me on the plane. I just gave you a compliment. Mr. Butler's here. How you doing? Good morning. He said good morning to everyone. I'm only about 15 minutes behind. Not bad. Not bad. Kevin says, I feel that people around me are finally starting to take carnivores serious after watching what it's doing for me. Well, that's the only way you're going to convince them. And if you convince them that you're actually a human being like they are and not some alien species that is superior to human beings and isn't going to die because they happen to eat a steak, if you can convince them of that, you may have somebody that might be interested. But very tough for people. Very, very tough for people to get over all that indoctrination and programming they've had since they were a baby. Remember, we're taught from the time, even before we can actually understand anything. From infancy, we're fed baby food that's all plants and sugars. Look at the little jars of baby food. Gerber. It's all strained fruits and strained vegetables. You know, it's all blended and mush so these little kids can eat it without. And that's what they're weaned on. Ken Berry weaned his babies on ribs. They chewed on those ribs and got all the meat off of it. That's what we're supposed to eat. And mother's milk, where they got all the fat and cholesterol they could ever want. That's the way it's supposed to work. Question. Will you come to my doctor appointment next week? I feel the shit is going to hit the fan. Kevin, I'll be with you in spirit, man. I'll be with you in spirit. Recognize the bullshit. Embrace it. And walk away from it. That's the best you can do. That's what I do now. I don't try to change the doctor's minds anymore. I tried that with my doctor at the VA. She couldn't argue with me. So she just sat there and listened to me. Eventually, she just threw up her hands. She's not allowed to talk about anything other than the standard of care because she's a government employee. I wasn't really trying to educate her as to what I'd learned for the purpose of her changing her patients' lives. I was trying to help her because I could see year after year after year she was heading in the wrong direction. I could tell that by her appearance. So I don't know if she ever, there was many other places she could go besides me to actually verify whether what I was saying had some merit to it. But and then finally I gave up trying to just go out there and be a missionary and help people and keep it to YouTube where I've got people who are here because they want to listen. Most of us have gotten that frustrated. And this is what I like to hear. Frank says, good on you, Mitch. I agree 1 gazillion% that looks like a gazillion to me of what you are saying. Think alike. Good man. You're a preacher. Why, thank you. Thank you so much. Retired Rick Sam did say good morning. Good morning, everyone. And Aaron pointing out that Dave Feldman has a company that's called Own Your Own Labs. That's a website. Either ownyourlabs.com or ownyourownlabs.com. Where you can get any blood test you want, and they send you the results. It doesn't go to the government. It doesn't go to your doctors. They're yours. They're cheap. They're cheap. They have contracted with Quest or one of those big testing companies where they'll tell you, go to the Quest thing down the street from you and get your blood drawn, and we'll send you the results. It's a great service. You don't need a doctor. You can get any test you want. Some other tests doctors will never prescribe, like NMR, spectroscopy, which does a real lipid separation on your blood and gives you damaged particle counts of LDL and lets you know whether you really have a reason to worry about that number, because those things get damaged by high inflammation. Great place. Thanks for reminding us. Thanks for reminding us. And yes, sir. Seeking Truth says, hi, cool dude. That'd be me. That'd be me. I'm the cool dude. Michael Preglis here. Hi, Michael. How are you? Said yesterday, I believe creatine is great for the brain. I have to agree. I'd have to agree. Although he says you should use it no matter what your age. It's one of those things, Michael, that can't hurt you. You might not need it when you're younger, but it's not going to hurt you, and more than likely you will get some benefit from it. But as you get older, I think it becomes more and more important. More and more important. Remember this. We try to emulate the cavemen. Back in those days, most of those people did not live to get to 70 and 80. Not because of their physiology, but because their lifestyle demanded so much physical exertion that as they got older, they didn't have the luxury of just laying around. They died from infections. They died from viruses. They had no antibiotics, doctors, injections, pills. So yes, their lifespan was lower. When we get up into these years, we were able to do that because of modern medicine in a lot of respects. Most of us probably would have been killed by a virus or a bad infection at some time along the way. Oh, hell, all you got to do is break your arm. And without treatment, and somebody setting the bone and maybe giving you some antibiotics if there's an infection, you'd die. You would get gangrene and everything else. Or a lion would eat you. So now we have, I'm very thankful for modern medicine in those respects. And I'm thankful that the drug companies discovered penicillin and antibiotics and can manufacture that stuff. But I don't like what they're doing with it these days. They've turned it into a membership club. Join and we'll take care of you for life and take these pills. But who cares what you eat? We'll give you these pain pills until your liver stops working. I don't know, but we've got this system that allows us to get older, and then some of these things that never were needed back in the days when most humans didn't live this long, like creatine. We can't find a ancestral equivalent. We're on our own. We're in kind of rarefied air as we get older. And I think it's important that if we find some things with very low risk or very little downside that help, that's not going against our message, and I've been accused of that. Well, you say we got to be like the caveman. Well, the caveman didn't take credit. Well, it's not that simple. There's so many considerations, but try to minimize and not overcomplicate your life with 57 or 125 different pills you have to take every day. My routine is very simple. Electrolytes and my morning routine with the MCT coffee first and the creatine coffee second. Great excuses to drink coffee. another little rant. And this is a good point. Frank says, isn't there enough creatine in meat? And you're taking it synthetically. Creatine is a molecule, and creatine is creatine. It can be synthesized. And yes, there's creatine in meat. The operative word in your question or comment is enough. When is enough really enough? Yes, you could live without taking it. But if you do supplement it, maybe for a number of reasons. Maybe you have fewer mitochondria than you did when you were 20 years younger. Maybe you're really not eating enough red meat or red meat with the nutrients. So there's no uniform advice you can give. Everybody should do that. You can't say that. Each of us has to look at our own life individually. Look at the evidence that's believable. There are no randomized controlled trials for some of these things, nor could there be. In fact, the whole concept of randomized controlled trials for anything that has to do with nutrition is pretty much impossible. It's impossible. Too many variables. All the studies that we see are nothing more than propaganda and marketing. And then how do you trust the studies? Look what Dave Feldman ran into with his study. You talk about somebody who was unconflicted, was trying to do it with complete transparency, with such honesty that nobody could ever find any fault with his methods, and then comes to find out that a lab that he was using was skewing his results so that the study looked worse, not better. The corruption and all that crap is everywhere. Daniel's here. Hey, Daniel, how you doing? 7:43 a.m. Wow, not too bad. We're getting along. Bill Cook is here. Hi, Bill. How are you? Good to see you this morning. And we're going to get through this on a Monday morning. Jojo! Hiya, Jojo. I work in a school kitchen, and all my coworkers are needing cortisone shots, overweight, in pain, limbic all the time. It's sad, while eating processed crap. It is, Jojo, and you can't change their minds. You can't teach them anything. And the worst person, the absolute worst, biggest moron in the entire school system, dietary department, is the dietitian. Those people are dangerous, Steve McAvoy, how you doing? Good morning, Mitch and the Mitches. Happy Monday, ha. Yes, ha. What else have we got here? It's Amy. Hey, Amy, you got a great mention this morning on Kiltz's show. Wow, wow, wow. Sounds like you're doing a great bang-up job. I need to stop trying to convince my doctors and just walk away, too. Even with a CAC of 38, my doctor wants to prescribe a statin and aspirin. They're like one-trick ponies, these people, aren't they? My philosophy, and don't take this as an advice, please don't say Mitch said, please don't say I'm not telling anybody to do anything of the sort. There's a lot of considerations in this, a lot of ifs. If you're eating strict carnivore, no plants, no sugars, if you're at your proper weight, everything's stable, you've been doing it a while, if you feel great, you have no pain and no obvious inflammation, if, then, my opinion, there is absolutely no reason you should be taking a statin or worried about your cholesterol, which is still a misnomer anyway. Worried about your lipoprotein levels. Your body is doing what it's supposed to do, burning the fuel it's supposed to burn and rewarding you with low inflammation. So blanket advice saying don't take statins could be deadly for some people, for very sick people, very highly inflamed, absolutely wrong diet, grossly overweight. They should be on a statin because their LDLs are basically killing them because they're being damaged, glycated, and oxidized. So the blanket advice not to take a statin can be deadly for some people, which is why you can't give it out there without all those ifs. It is simple, the diet, but the medical advice that goes along with it is certainly not simple. The scary part is that what I just said, very few doctors out there would even understand why I would say something like that. And continue on their quest to have statins put in the drinking water and giving statins to infants and young kids. Because everybody knows that you got to get your cholesterol. The closer to zero, the better. Oh, God, what morons. What's worse? I know that we went over the definitions. Is a moron dumber than an imbecile? To look that up again. I did. I looked it up on Google. There's an IQ range. A certain IQ is a moron, then comes an imbecile, and I wonder if there's a numbskull in there too. Somewhere in there, there's a rocket scientist. Yes. Anyway, it's great to see you here, Amy. I still think I look great with a head of red hair. Yes, sir. Terry P. Uncle Charlie's here. How you doing, Charlie? I haven't said hi to you today, and I did it. Holy cow, 8:03, a special guest and everything. I guess Peter and, Rick's been active in the chat. Peter wasn't too active. He showed up a little earlier. But the chat didn't get as full today. It was perfect. Perfect. How about that? And I'll tell you what I'll do. I think we'll have to give us a little treat. For you, Amy. I love that. I love that. Oh, that's great. That's great. So down at the bottom of the chat, we have Bill Cook. Are statins anti-inflammatory? Well, there are people that say they might be slightly anti-inflammatory, but so is an aspirin. But their side effects can be tremendous. Don't screw with your LDL if you're doing great. Why is that logic so hard? If you're healthy, if you're in good shape, if you're feeling great, if you have no pain, why take anything? Where is it listed that we need to take drugs in order to be healthy? That's absurd. That's absurd. I don't buy into that. $112 people are watching. Wow, wow, wow. It's late in this stream, too. Well, we're going to get out of here. Carrot Top. Carrot Top says, Rick, yes. And Thomas. Thomas says, cool hairstyle. I like that. I like that. And the last chat that's there so far is Rough Carnivore. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A disclaimer. We are not doctors. No, thank God we're not doctors. I don't want to be a doctor. I don't want to be a doctor. The restraints put on me as a doctor, the regulations, the risk of losing your license, means that if I didn't follow the company line, give everybody a statin and talk about all this nonsense, I'd be out of business. I don't want to be constrained by that. Don't want to be constrained by that. And I certainly don't want to be a doctor in this current medical industrial complex. That about says it. That about says it. And Thomas says, why would we want to be? Exactly right. Exactly right. So my friends. Wrong song. Happy music. We're going to call it a day. Monday. Question, Mitch. Got a question this late. From Uncle Charlie. Mitch, tonight, 8 o'clock, go on YouTube Carnivore Talk. I'll see if I remember that. Don't you guys get enough? Don't you guys get enough of me? Anyway, hey, Lori, I didn't see you before. How you doing, sweetie? Good to see you always. Always. And Brian Air, have a great day, everyone. And everybody's saying goodbye. That's all, folks. Talk tomorrow, says Terry up in Newfoundland. We'll see you all tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock after Kiltz. Lori says, thank you, Mitch. Lady June says, bye all. Sandy Bye says bye. Retired Rick is waving. Mike Sealy, have a good day, everyone. And Paul Tremblay, I'm a 76-year-old Vietnam veteran. I just subscribed. Thank you, Paul. Welcome. Good to hear you. You were in the military at the same time I was during the Vietnam days. Good to see you, man. Thanks for coming in. And we'll see you all tomorrow as the music ends. Bye, everyone, says Chuck. See you, Mitch Fitz, tomorrow morning. Here it comes. You know what to do. Thanks for coming, everybody. Now, take the rest of the day off and eat meat.